Thank you.
Okay, I'm starting.
Yep.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Education USA India Facebook Live. We are joining you from our center here in New Delhi. The topic for today is choosing the right program for your business school application, specifically talking about the MBA program, the specialized master's programs, and STEM programs at a business school. Today we are talking with Dr. Oksana Carlson. She is from Johns Hopkins University at the Carey Business School. She is the Assistant Dean and has over 20 years of experience in the field and in higher education. She is going to present to you on the topic today, and after that we will have a round of question and answers. I request students to type in their questions in the comments on your Facebook Live, and we will take those questions towards the end. Today we have a bit of a hybrid format for this session. We are joined by some students here in the center as well. We will be answering their questions also. Students, for an enhanced audio quality, please do use your headphones, and I'm going to give the podium to Dr. Carlson, and she's going to walk you through the presentation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great. Thank you so much, Asta. It's my great pleasure to be here today in New Delhi at Education USA office. Wonderful experience always working with Education USA in India and other countries. And greetings to all the students who are joining us here today in the office, as well as everybody who is joining us online. I'm going to use PowerPoint, so you will have some information that you can capture, and hopefully that will be helpful. We'll spend about 30 minutes maybe with the PowerPoint, a few slides, and then we'll have a few minutes for questions and answers. We are ready to start. So again, the topic today is how to select the right program, and we will be specifically looking at the program options at the business school. In the most common programs that we offer typically at the business school in the United States would include MBA, and we will explore this option, then specialized master's programs. So we will explore MBA and specialized masters, and we will also look at the STEM programs, because some of the programs are designated as a STEM program. So we will look at all of these options together. Again, my name is Oksana Carlson. I'm Assistant Dean at the Johns Hopkins University Carey Business School. The topic is looking at the different types of programs at a business school. And so I will use my school as an example. Great, I will use my school as an example. But the information that you will explore and find and learn today will be relevant and possibly quite similar when you look at programs across different schools. As I mentioned, these are the topics that we will look at today: MBA, specialized masters, STEM designated programs. What are the market trends that we see, program formats, curricular, admission requirements, and how to select the right program that will provide the best fit for you. Since I will be using my school as an example, I will share some background information with you. Johns Hopkins University, I'm sure you heard about this university, located in the United States on the East Coast. The main campus is in Baltimore, that's a city in Maryland, just 1 hour drive from Washington, D.C. It was the very first research university in the United States, very strong mission and history in research and innovation. The university was founded more than 140 years ago, typically ranked in the top 10. About 27 Nobel Prize winners are associated with the Johns Hopkins University. This is the main campus, just to show you what a beautiful campus it is. Our business school is actually located in a slightly different area, very nice fancy area in Baltimore, and we have location in Maryland, in Baltimore and in Washington, D.C. As I mentioned, MBA is one of the programs that have been usually very popular when people would think about receiving education in a business path, going to business or leadership. So just quickly to capture this, when we talk about the MBA, Typically, we mean the traditional full-time MBA. Typically, in the United States, the full-time MBA is still considered a 2-year program, and it helps you to develop functional business skills. In most MBA programs, full-time, you will see a requirement to have at least 2-3 years full-time work experience after undergraduate program. In most MBA programs, the average would be 4, 5, 6 years. In our MBA at Johns Hopkins Carey Business School, the average of MBA students in the class is about 5.5 years of work experience, full-time. The program is typically focused on leadership and management skills, and the whole idea of MBA program is to help you understand different components of what is involved, different areas of how the company is run, and so you will be better prepared to manage the program, to manage the company and look at the company's strategy, operations from a higher level, and be prepared to manage your company or move into that direction toward leadership level. The program structure for the full-time 2-year program is typically 4 semesters, 2 years. After the first year, you would typically do the summer internship, and summer internship is something where you can focus on the sector, area, or function that you would like to explore for your future career. So it's very helpful to do this internship in the MBA program, and there are special MBA internship programs offered by employers. Since you complete it, and in many cases you will receive, hopefully you will receive an offer. So in the second year you will work on your electives, concentration, and you will have an offer by the time you graduate. Other formats of MBA programs, 1 year. Some universities offer 1 year MBA. Typically, it's the program that is more intensive, shorter, potentially shorter in terms of number of credits, and typically 1 year MBA is offered to people with more work experience and those who do not seek to change their industry. Mostly these people will be coming from a company who sends them to MBA or support their MBA, and they will complete 1 year of MBA and come back to their company. So this is not for career changers, for career switchers, and this typically is a program that should really make sense for you. Most people who want to go to an MBA program, they actually want the full MBA experience, which is 2 years. They want to explore new career opportunities. They want to do the internship, explore, build relationship with companies, reach out to employers. So the full 2-year MBA is more of a better option for them. Other option, part-time MBA. Of course, this is for people who work full-time, do not want to stop working, and they would take classes in the evening or weekend. Online MBA, another format that is becoming more and more popular. There is also, I didn't list it here, a blended format. That's just one of the other types. And dual degree if you do MBA and something else. Specialized master's programs. We will talk a little bit more about the trends, but in the last few years we have seen more and more interest and demand from employers and demand for students to pursue specialized master's programs instead of MBA. So the trend definitely is changing a little bit more when people decide what is the right program for me. So that's exactly the topic we're exploring today. Again, using my school as an example, we started offering business courses back in 1916, more than 100 years ago. And these are some of the examples, the actual programs we offer now. And I will talk more about them a little bit later. But those programs, we have 6 Master of Science programs now. Finance, which is a STEM program. Business Analytics and Risk Management is STEM. Information Systems, STEM. Marketing is STEM. We also have Real Estate and Infrastructure and Healthcare Management. So 6 Master of Science programs. They are specialized. We can call them specialized masters because they focus on one particular area of study. So you already decide that you want to explore finance. You already decide that you want to focus on marketing. So they are specialized in some particular area. Typically for this type of master, specialized masters, the full-time work experience is not required. Of course, you want to check specific requirements for the program you're interested in, but typically looking at many business schools in the United States, the work experience is not required. However, it's still very helpful if you have some work experience, full-time, part-time, internship. Using the Carey Business School example, the specialized masters that we offer are designed in the same format as a 1 year, same structure, 1 year, 12 months, 3 semesters, fall, spring, and summer. And the program is quite intensive, so you're not going to have time to do internship during the program. However, it's quite common for business schools to offer a very intensive program. You complete it. Of course, the benefit that you will complete the program within 12 months. That's quite fast to get to your master's degree. And then you can still pursue internship or a job, and it could be in the United States. Some trends, what we see with applications to business schools in the last few years, maybe last 10 years, definitely we see a growth of applications to specialized master's programs. And we see number of applications from international students increasing for both MBA and master's. So we see more international students who would like to pursue studies in the United States, and we definitely see more specialized master's applicants. The programs that have been very popular, according to GMAT report, and GMAT is the organization that manages GMAT, yeah. So MS Finance has been very, very popular program, still quite popular. MS Accounting, the other one, and then maybe one of the latest ones that became very popular in the last 2 or 3 years is MS in Business Analytics. Some other programs, like Master of International Management, Master of Management, many of them are offered actually in Europe, but some in the United States schools also offer them. When you think about choosing the right program, of course, very important would be for you to start with your career goals and with the employer's demands. What do employers want to see? There is some interesting data that I'm sharing with you here. MBA hiring projections, and this is by world region, so you can look at the employer's needs and demands in terms of hiring MBAs, and this is data for 2009 until 2018. So this is all quite helpful, and we can see that more than 9 in 10, close to 10, of Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 plan to hire recent MBA graduates, and that's based on the survey in 2018, again data from GMAT. So MBA is still in good demand. We also know from conversations with many employers that we are working with that many employers have special MBA recruitment programs. So they go to universities, business schools, they design programs where they recruit specifically MBA graduates. And this is for other business master's programs. So you can see the percentage of employers who plan to recruit other business master's talent, and that was from 2018. So information systems, you can see 33% employers in the industry plan to hire business graduates. Marketing, supply chain, economics, you can see the top areas, and that corresponds to the programs that we see most popular. MBA, what are the jobs that they are most likely to find, to have strategically? So you can look here, the comparison between MBA and masters. So in terms of the specialist, the darker green is generalist. So generalist is probably the person who will find a position that is more toward the management role. And so understandably more MBAs will pursue this path or will be hired specifically for those roles. That's definitely linked to the whole purpose of people studying an MBA. And more, you can see 60% for specialist type of jobs coming from Master of Management, again, because they're specialized in one area that they selected. So this is easy to understand, but it's helpful to see in numbers. Top job functions. It's a little bit difficult to see on the screen, but I think this is okay here on the screen for those who participate online. But you can see some of the top job functions in which employers plan to place recent graduates, business hires. So you can see by industry, business development is pretty high, data analytics, marketing, finance, accounting. So that just helps you to maybe shape your career goals a little bit more and understand where the employer's demand is coming. So if we compare MBA and specialized masters, if some of you are thinking how to decide whether I should pursue the MBA or master's program, and then later we will spend a little bit of time talking about STEM programs. So this is again used in my school, but you can build a similar chart to compare all of the programs that you are looking at. So let's say you use one person who will be looking at both MBA and specialized masters. The program length, it could be quite important, I assume. 2 years. Are you ready to spend 2 years going to the United States, 4 semester versus 12 months? So that may make a big difference for somebody who is going to be away from home, family, work. Again, are you ready? If you're already working, are you ready to, and if it makes sense for you to stop working, stop your career, put it on hold a little bit, and explore something else for 2 years? Or is it important for you to only spend a shorter period of time, like 12 months? So length of the program could be an important component. Concentration and focus of the program. In our MBA program, we have 2 major paths. One is called Analytics, Leadership, and Innovation. Very strong focus on business analytics. And the second program is called Health, Technology, and Innovation. That's the second concentration. As I mentioned, for specialized masters, we offer 6 Master of Science programs. And again, you would need to decide which program is the specific program is the correct, right choice for you. And those are finance, which is STEM, business analytics and risk management is a STEM program, marketing is STEM, information systems is STEM, so 4 STEM programs, healthcare management and real estate. So obviously depending on the area of expertise that you would like to build and whether you would like to build this expertise as a specialist versus generalist, as we just reviewed in the previous slides, that will help you to decide what program would be the right fit for you. Certain features. Obviously for MS programs, you will be building in-depth expertise in the area of your specialization. In the MBA, you will build certain specific skills, like in our example, very big focus on analytics and data-driven approach to problem solving. Still in MBA, there is a very big, strong focus on building and expanding and improving your leadership skills, expanding your leadership potential and going toward the management and leadership path. Internship, again, if you are thinking about stopping your work, taking 2 years off, MBA would provide a good opportunity to do the summer internship, explore a new industry, and hopefully build relationship with this new employer. In specialized masters, the internship or job could be pursued after graduation. So with 12 months, it's a very intensive program. You're not going to be able to do internship during the program, but you can do it after you completed the program. Work experience in most MBA programs, including our Johns Hopkins MBA, we do want to see full-time work experience after you graduated from bachelor's program, at least 2 to 3 years minimum. And average is about 5.5 years. For specialized masters, the work experience, full-time work experience is not required. So for specialized master, we do see more applications from people who are finishing their bachelor's right now, or just finished, or maybe finishing next year. So it's more for maybe people who don't have a lot of work experience, or just a little bit of work experience. So it's a slightly different group of people that maybe you will be in a class together. Location may or may not be important, but something worth considering. In our case, our school has locations in Baltimore and in DC. MBA is only offered in Baltimore. Specialized masters depending on the program. Some of them are offered in Baltimore, some of them are in DC. Both locations are actually very good in terms of career opportunities. In terms of other requirements, academic credits, MBA requires 54 credits to complete. That's across 2 years. And master's, 36 credits, and that's in 12 months. So you can see very intensive. Other requirements are somewhat similar. We do require for international students TOEFL 100 or IELTS 7. Students who studied completely in English, the program is fully in English and the transcript is fully in English, can connect with admissions office, ask if they will receive, if the admissions office can give them a waiver for English language exam. The GMAT is GRE, we do not give waivers. It is required in both types of programs. And there is not a minimum requirement, but it's required. And for other requirements, I included the links, so it will be a little bit easier for you to look at them. So let's talk about the profile of a strong candidate with everything that we just reviewed. So for MBA program, it would be somebody who has some work experience. They probably build some technical expertise in certain area. Work for 2-3 years, maybe 5, 6, certain number of years. they feel like they know their industry quite well, and now they would like to either move up in the management path or expand their expertise in some other ways, or maybe they would like to switch industry. And a very example that we see often in India, many people come from technical background, like engineering, and somebody maybe worked as a computer science engineer, software developer for a certain number of years, and they feel like they cannot get out of that path, while they would like to expand either their expertise or go a little bit more in the management path. So that will be an example of somebody that probably would make sense to pursue the MBA, explore new industry, sort of push your boundaries a little bit, explore new, look at new horizons, new career paths, help you shape the career goals for after MBA experience. And so you would look how that aligns with your, how the MBA program that you selected would align with your career goals and with the program focus. Looking at the specialized masters, if we think about somebody who can apply directly from undergrad or right after undergrad, probably somebody who did not have management experience and may or may not be interested in the management track, right? Maybe it's somebody who is specifically interested in their area of expertise, in that very specific specialization, and that's why they choose it. Let's say it's finance, maybe somebody wants to work as a financial analyst. It may or may not involve the management component, so they know that they want to work in financial services sector, maybe they want to work in fintech. So they know their area of specialization and they want to build this expertise in depth, and so that may be a better choice for this person. I think we actually went through this already. The types of programs we offer is Johns Hopkins MBA is 2 years and then 6 Master of Science programs, just another way to look at it here. We looked at it quickly. One thing that I will mention, and we'll move on to talking about STEM programs. For OPT, so if you plan or you would like to consider studying in the United States, you would like to understand this. When you look at different options to study abroad in different countries have different policies in terms of how students can or cannot stay longer to pursue some professional opportunities. In the United States, it's a great opportunity. You can utilize optional practical training. It's called OPT. An opportunity comes with your student visa. So when you are admitted, you receive a student visa, you go to the United States to study as a full-time student. Once you completed your program, you receive the degree, and sometime maybe before you complete the degree, you start looking for jobs or internships. So you still need to find the job or internship. It has to be related to the program of study. Whatever you studied in the United States, that's the type of job or internship you need to find. And if you found it, then you will work with Office of International Students to utilize this OPT. It's not a work visa, it's still coming with your student visa. And it allows you to stay in the United States and have some professional experience, whether it's internship or job. Doesn't have to be necessarily job, internship is fine as well. And you can stay up to 1 year. This is for most of the programs that are non-STEM. The current policy is such that for STEM designated programs, if the program specifically designated as STEM, you need still to find a job or internship related to your program of study. And so for STEM programs, you can stay up to 3 years. So that's just something helpful and important to understand. STEM, very interesting, since our topic is programs that we are selecting, between programs offered by business schools. In the last maybe 5-6 years, we have seen this interesting trend that many business schools in the United States offer STEM designated programs. While if you look in the past, maybe before 5 or 6 years, in most cases you will see STEM, or people would think about STEM programs, something like engineering schools would offer. So why do we see more and more business schools offering STEM designated programs? It's not because we would like to offer FET. That's not necessarily our goal. That's a great opportunity for students, I'm sure. But the reason is, I'm sure you can appreciate, the technologies have evolved quickly. They continue evolving, new technologies, and technologies are incorporated into everything, whatever we do in business. So you almost cannot separate it anymore. And so in all areas of business, in all sectors, industries, we need to understand technology, we incorporate technology, we utilize it more what we see from employers, what employers demand. Also, they want to see more quantitative skills, business analytics skills, ability to analyze data, work with data. So this is just what we see in the business world, and so that's why the business schools also now need to train people to be fully prepared and more competitive for this world. And that's what we see more and more. When you think about jobs for STEM graduates, and when I say STEM graduates, of course, this is broadly defined, right? But including those programs that are designated as STEM, according to Economic Modeling Specialists International, they build projections for jobs, and the STEM jobs, demand for STEM jobs will be, the number of STEM jobs is increasing about 13% in the next 10 years until 2027. Based on the data from US Bureau of Labor Statistics, also you can look at several examples of the jobs. This is their job outlook by 2026. These are, I only selected the jobs actually related to the programs that we offer in our business school. So you can look like financial analysts. Many of our students who complete MS Finance program or possibly business analytics will probably have this type of job. So we still we see big increase. Operation research analysts look very impressive increase also expected by 2026, and that could be maybe again business analytics, could be finance program graduates. Marketing research analysts, big increase. In our case, that's marketing graduates. Management analysts could be any background that you're coming from, but definitely business school related. And computer information systems, that's, could be engineering, or in our case, Master of Science in Information Systems. But it gives you a sense of where the job market is going. This is another example based on the information from the Director of Immigration and Trade Policy in the United States. There will be shortage of 1.1 million STEM workers by 2024. So again, we expect a large number of high demand for this type of qualifications, this type of skills in the future. STEM OPT, we actually talked about it a little bit. I think that's already pretty clear. We talked at STEM OPT up to 36 months, and the program has to be STEM designated. And of course, you will be looking at the job or internship opportunity that is related to the program where you studied. Make sure you work closely with Career Development Office to make sure you understand your career goals. They can help you shape them, understand a little bit more about the employer and specific industries that you're interested in. I will go very quickly through just as an example of the programs that we offer, and they are STEM programs. So MS Finance is STEM, focused on financial econometrics, and the curriculum is recognized by CFA Institute. These are just examples of the courses. We do have all this information available on our website, which is carey.jhu.edu. MS in Business Analytics and Risk Management is also STEM. In this program, you will learn to how to collect the data, analyze the data, interpret, apply different models, and once you conducted the business analysis, what do we do with it? How does it help us drive better and smarter business decisions? MS Marketing is also STEM, and it's focused on marketing analytics. It helps you to learn how to measure, analyze, manage, and control the performance of a marketing campaign, and generally how to increase the effectiveness of your marketing campaign. So there is some overlap with the business analytics because it's focused on marketing analytics, but it's looking a little bit more from the consumer behavior standpoint. Understand how consumers behave, how they think, their preferences, and looking at it a little bit more from that side. Information systems, again, we're a business school, but the MS Information System program is for somebody who still wants to maintain and build their technical expertise, but apply it in a business sense. So it's a little bit more on the project management side, where you would understand what are the information technologies and systems that you can bring to the company, you need to utilize, how they all are compatible, and how utilization of different systems and technology can make your company more effective. Employers who recruit from Carey, just a few names. We have more information on our website. This is just a small sample. Admissions requirements, just very quickly. GMAT and GRE scores GRE is required. I mentioned TOEFL, that you can talk to admissions office about the waiver if possible. Interview is conducted either online or pre-recorded interview, recorded interview, or in person in some cases. Transcripts, resume, 2 essays, and 1 letter of recommendation. The application deadlines, these are still valid deadlines for 2020, and if we have any participants here who would like to apply in round 3, there is still an opportunity to apply. So April 1, this is for round 3 deadlines. I have the link here for all other details that you can explore. And those who will be applying in the next years, of course, I invite you to visit the website. In early September, typically the new application is available. Yeah, so you can create your password, log in, and you will see all components of the program, and definitely the new deadlines will be posted as well. So let's just summarize. We went through many interesting components, factors to consider. So choosing the right program, start with your career goals. You know, what is your career goal? And try to shape it in a very clear way, so you can really articulate it, preferably in 1 sentence. Preferably if you can also articulate what is your future industry, where you want to work, and maybe function as well. So the more you are able to articulate it, the easier it would help you, the easier it would be for you to decide what's the right program. So generally think about the program as a vehicle to take you from where you are today to where you want to be, let's say 5 years from now. Yeah, it really needs to drive your decision. And a couple examples I included here. Let's say somebody really wants to reach CFA designation at some point and just wants to work in, I don't know, as financial analyst maybe. Probably MS Finance would be the right path for this person. It's a question whether they need to do an MBA or not. If they do want to do an MBA, I would ask why. Right? It's not right or wrong answer, but I would really expect this applicant to be able to articulate why, because MS Finance seems like maybe a right path. Somebody who only wants to work as risk manager, very specifically, loves data, loves, to work on their own project maybe, very strong in technology and business analytics skills, I would say probably MS Business Analytics Risk Management. Probably a good option to consider. Somebody who wants to be a brand manager, MS Marketing could be the good opportunity for them. We can also look at many other examples, of course. If somebody has done, has been brand manager for 6-7 years and really want now to go a little bit more toward, chief marketing officer, maybe it would make sense for them then pursue an MBA. So start with your career goals. The second suggestion, research the requirements for the positions you aspire to reach. What does it mean? If you would like to be the chief marketing officer or financial analyst, spend quite a bit of time actually, research those positions where you want to work, in the industry where you want to work. Collect them and analyze them. What are the specific requirements that employers want to see? What is required? And what are their preferences? Sometimes they separate requirements versus separate preferences. Do they require a master's degree at all? Do they require an MBA? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Right? So try to do this analysis. This is a really great exercise. If you remember when you articulated your career goals, and now you can find those types of jobs and analyze, it will really give you a pretty good idea, again, what would be the right type of degree that would matter for your employer. In some specific sectors or even companies, sometimes the degree, meaning the letters, whether it's MBA, specifically like credentials, MBA versus masters, may or may not have a weight. I did hear from some people who would say, well, this is my career goal and I know that they really need an MBA. Yeah, they definitely need an MBA, and masters is wonderful, but it's not going to take me where I need to get. And in many other examples, it's not necessarily going to be, making difference whether you get an MBA or an MS. So this is also something for you to consider. Determine your eligibility. We discussed a little bit on that topic, but if there are some minimum requirements or some, components like I don't have full-time work experience, it's not going to make you eligible. So that's something to consider. Length of the program may be also important to consider. Tuition, housing, cost of living, and other costs. We talked about it. MBA program is longer, 54 credits, 2 years, versus specialized masters. In our case, it's a 1-year program. So for some people, that could be important, and it could also help drive your decision in a certain direction. Access to employers, employer demands. all very important, alumni network, a very good exercise also to find alumni who already work, or alumni friends, not even necessarily from the same program, just friends, colleagues who already hold the positions you want to hold. And, you know, have a 10-15-minute conversation, sort of informational interview, and see how they got where they got, and what type of degree they have, and how they got to this position. Yeah. Is it important to have a master's degree? What type of master's degree? Do you have to have it in finance? Can I be coming from other areas? So very good exercise as well will help you to shape this a little bit better. And how to develop a winning application. Again, focus on career goals. It's really important for the admissions committee who will be reading your application to see these are the questions. They're not necessarily asked throughout the application the same way, but it would be very important for you to see that you actually answer these questions throughout the whole application, why this is the right program for you. And again, if you start with the career goals, you should be able to respond to this question in many different ways, through the essay, you know, other components, resume. It should be pretty clear, this is the right program for this person, and why are you the best applicant for this program. So if you can manage to build your application in a way that anybody who opens your application reads it, and it's very clear for them, this is really the right program because this is where they want to get in next 3 to 5 years, and this is really the best applicant for this program, and this is why, then you are probably on the right path to build a very strong application and demonstrate how this program is providing the right fit for you. Work experience is helpful, and I'm talking about the business schools. So as I mentioned, for MBA programs, it's actually often it's a requirement, but even if it's not a requirement for some of the programs, it's still very helpful because it will help you demonstrate that you started doing something toward your career goals. It will help you build better understanding about your future industry. When you work on an essay, very often the essay has a very specific question where it will help you demonstrate your knowledge of the industry, your career goals. So any experience that you build, full-time, part-time, internship, anything, or if you still have a chance to build more professional experience, will be very helpful. Meet or exceed minimum requirements, of course, very helpful. If you hear, I'll give you an example. We don't have a minimum GMAT, but we have average. I can give you average examples, like finance is 700 average GMAT. Business analytics program also about 700. Marketing, I believe, was 690 GMAT average. So, and it changes from year to year, program to program. So this is just to give you an idea. Once you learn about the average, it gives you a sense. So if you are closer to the average or hopefully higher, that will probably give you a little bit better position, chances to be successful. Essay statement of purpose, make sure you read the description, the questions, especially essay, typically comes with a question. And try to incorporate all of your strengths, you know, your great experience, what is great about you throughout the essay, but you still need to respond to the essay question. Letter of recommendation and resume. Tuition, scholarship, financial aid. We are going to wrap up, so we don't have as much time, but just very quickly, many programs, many business schools in the United States do offer scholarships. The tricky thing is that until you actually build your application and submitted it, they will not be able to advise you and say, well, looking at your GMAT score, you know, let's say you got GMAT 720. That looks great on its own. Yeah. However, without seeing all other components, we will not be able to say, you know, tentatively that having 720 GMAT necessarily makes you a very strong applicant because we haven't seen other pieces. You know, maybe there are some other areas where you may not be as strong as your GMAT score. So it's very hard, you know, when we hear a question from prospective students, they say how much scholarship you would offer or offer an average. We don't measure it by average. It's all really by individual case. We are looking at top students, depends on who applied. So your goal really, I would suggest your goal would be to build your best application, to build the strongest application possible and demonstrate all of your best skills and ability to be successful in the program and beyond. That will be your best change. But generally, yes, there are a lot of types of scholarships, and I listed some examples. Some of them are offered by schools. Some of them are actually coming outside of the school, so I would encourage everybody to explore a little bit more. But there are opportunities. Tips and recommendation, I think I already shared a lot of this. Do your research, get all information, develop good strategy. Don't be afraid to apply to top schools that sound a little bit out of reach. That's fine. That will push you a little bit further. Don't be afraid, because you don't know until you really try. And this is my contact information. So I think we'll spend now a few minutes with questions and answers, and we have several students again here in the audience, which is wonderful, and we have several people online. And let me just also mention that in case we do not have enough time to go through all questions, I believe EducationUSA colleagues will allow you to post your questions later. They will share with me, and I will check, and we will post the responses later, even if the session is fully completed. Okay, well, do we have a couple minutes? We can do the questions and answers?
Definitely.
Okay, fantastic.
Do we have any questions here from the audience in the center?
Yes, I have.
All right. Could you just be really nice?
Yeah, ma'am, I did my BTech, I did my bachelor's in computer science engineering, and currently I'm working in a finance domain. So would like to apply for financial mathematics, or I would say MS in finance.
Mm-hmm.
So would my profile be, relatable to this STEM course? And was that actually a thing that baffles me? So would that be relevant? Because my designation as of now in my company is software engineer.
Software engineer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be possible
Yeah.
to apply for this STEM course?
Great
in
question.
finance?
Yeah, great question. I love this question. So let me just capture it again.
Okay.
Your bachelor's degree was in
Computer science engineering.
computer science engineering.
It's a
and
STEM
you-
course in
Okay,
India.
yes. And you worked as a software engineer
Engineer.
for how many years?
For like 1.5 years.
1.5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And you plan to apply to maybe MS Finance in this
Yes,
case.
definitely.
MS Finance, it's financial econometrics. So this is a great question. So first, I would encourage you all to expand your thinking in terms of what's the major or area of specialization that you want to explore for your masters. In the United States, especially in business schools, we don't limit you. In most cases, we actually don't have a requirement. In our school, we do not have a requirement for whatever area major that you're coming from, that it has to be the same. And I receive this question very, very often abroad from international students. Like students would ask, I have my bachelor's degree in economics, can I apply to finance? And the answer is yes, of course. It's a great, it's a great combination, very relevant. In your case, it's not directly maybe as, directly connected to finance. However, we just talked about how much technology is incorporated into everything. So, for example, I will just use example as fintech, right? So fintech area is growing so fast, and there will be a big demand. We already see big demand in gap in talent, not just in the United States, but in other countries. I would expect you will see it here. I don't know if you see it already now or not in India, but I would expect you will see it soon. Why there is a gap? Because in the past, we would typically train people either in finance or in technology. So, I don't know what your career goals, but I would imagine somebody like you could maybe potentially pursue something like fintech, which would be perfect combination. And what we see in financial services sector, more and more financial services is now adopting new technologies and changing the way they do things, because there's a lot of pressures on like traditional banks. All these fintech companies do things in a completely different way. There is no face time with the customer, zero face time. So the big traditional banks and some other financial services organizations changing the way they do things because of those pressures. So I would say in general, for somebody coming from a technology background and would like to do finance, perfect combination, perfect. But again, going back to what we just reviewed, the first question I would ask you if we had a little bit longer time, I would say why. So that's something for you. It's sort of your homework, right, to do. You would need to shape it in a little bit better way. Why do you want to pursue finance? And be able to, articulate it. Where do you want to work? Why do you need this finance program? What is going to equip you with the type of skills and knowledge? Where is it going to help you to get? Like what would be your goals, short term, 3 to 5 years, and maybe long term, 10 years. As long as you are able to articulate it and you know that there is a case, you will be able to demonstrate it.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Wonderful. Any more questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have one question. So, of course, when somebody applies in, I basically come from the education background, and I'm looking to move up the ladder now. And the question is that, when you look at resumes of students and applicants, what resume looks better? Like if we eliminate all other kinds of variables, what resume looks better? Somebody who's gone down and worked with the government sector, or somebody who's working with the international organizations or in the private sector?
Let me just clarify your question. So you worked in education.
Yes.
What exactly in education?
So I taught, and then I also moved to curriculum development.
Okay, teaching, curriculum development, wonderful. What's your bachelor's degree?
Education.
Education.
Elementary education.
Elementary education, fantastic. And how many years of work experience do you have?
2 years. I also have a master's in education.
Okay, fantastic. And so, your question is, when you look at the resume, can you clarify your question?
When you look at any applicant's resume, the overall profile, eliminating the constants such as GRE score or IELTS score, etc., what looks better? Somebody who has had work experience in the government sector of education,
Government sector?
or in the private/international sector of same education.
Okay, so the first very important question, what program we are talking about, right? Because you're looking at the resume, it's all in the context of something. So what program you are thinking about?
So I'm thinking about general MBA.
General MBA, okay. The MBA, what you experience in MBA is to work with people from different sectors. So MBA is typically a very diverse program, and we welcome this diversity because in the MBA, part of your experience in the MBA is not just learning from professors, which is important, obviously, but you also learning from each other. Just looking around this table, if you were if it just happened that you were in the same MBA class, you would be learning from each other because you probably don't know much about what's happening in, software development, and the gentleman also probably doesn't know much as whatever's happening in elementary education, which is amazing because then you start thinking about the different models and different theories and different methods, how it applies in different sectors, and it really opens your thinking because we learn about best practices, and some of the best practices actually make sense to implement in other sectors. So first, again, I would encourage you not to be afraid to apply to MBA, even if you're not coming from business background. That shouldn't be a major concern. And then in terms of your need to pursue an MBA, again, my first question would be, why do you need an MBA? So that would be very important for you to shape it. And since MBA is, we welcome people from diverse backgrounds, so I am not sure that if somebody is coming from education in the government, you mean public education?
Yes, public education.
Or somebody who worked in a private school, that really makes much difference. Again, back to your case, I would ask you to articulate your career goals. And so, if your goals are related to education in any way, then you would still be able to demonstrate whether you worked in public education, but then if you were interested to shift into more commercial education, and let's say you would like to be a director of the public preschool, which will, maybe in this case, you imagine that this role will incorporate some financial management. And that's why maybe it would be important for you to build MBA, more of a business skill. Or maybe you would like to open your own school. So it would be important for you to actually explore a little bit more and shape this in a better way. Why? Or maybe the other way around. So I'm not sure that I see either way that it would be a big either plus or minus, but it would be up to you how to demonstrate whatever you already have done, how it's relevant to your future career goals, and how this MBA program will make sense and will help you to get there. Great.
So everybody who's joined us on Facebook today, we only have time for so many questions. You may please put in your questions in the comments box, and we will be sure to pass this on to Dr. Carlson, or an Education USA advisor will help you answer those queries. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Please keep watching this space for more information on all that we do. Education USA is the official source on US higher education, and we will see you another time for another Facebook Live. Thank you so much.